Hi guys, welcome to this video. It's that time of the year, well, of the month maybe. At ArcoLinux we make releases, and every release comes a how to stay rolling video, plus scripts maybe, and what's new. So this video is how to stay rolling. What I've done is I went into our archive and I've installed the one from mid-August. Right, so mid-August there was a release and we need to update it to, well, mid-September. How to stay rolling is important because some knowledge is required, and let's start with the keys. If you want to learn more, Arch wiki keys are wiki pacman, signing, web of trust, things like that. Basically what you need to remember is from time to time ArcoLinux sends us new people, because a key is from a person. New people can be trusted, and ArcoLinux keyring is sometimes, depends, right, but it's sometimes needed before you update, not during, but before. If they're new guys, the Pacman doesn't know them, right? And it says, oh, who's this? And there is no Pacman key for it, so I'm not gonna continue, right? So this might be a golden tip. If at some point in time you want to update and say, hey, there's an error with the key, think about it. First this, then the update. So what it does, it gets all the keys. You can have a look. It's also the date is important, maybe from time to time. It switches, right? 0809. So in this case, we are updating. This is a new list of packages, new list of keys in this package, which is okay, right? People coming in and people getting out. Signatures that are not valid anymore. That's one thing. The other thing is the release of mid-August was due because of a change in Pacman, and that was also the keys. It was the issue, and we've created a new alias for it. So fix key fix, I'll get to that later. We're gonna update this thing, right? Updating means typing update, right? What does it do? Well, it will get ArcoLinux and ArcoLinux stuff, not AOR stuff. But before I do anything, it might be interesting for you to keep control of your operating system. Keeping control is knowledge. We have aliases for it to keep control of what's happening to my machine. Now we can't control everything, right? The only thing we can control is us. That's it. 90% of your operating system is Arch Linux. No control over it. We just update and we hope everything works fine, right? And most of the time it does. So we have some 3% of ArcoLinux packages. You see them now. And there's still some 3-4% from AOR, and that's it. And all the rest is pure Arch. Now, if you want to learn more, this is something you can type, backup skel. And some of you, I hope many of you, have already heard about the folder etc skel. Every Linux distribution out there keeps settings in here. And when you install it, Linux says, let's take this as a template. Let's give the user that's been created in columnars in our case, right? Let's copy paste it all over. So people have the bash RC or the ZSH RC or conkeys and all the rest, right? This, the content of etc skel. Now, what the backup skel will do is like going to the hairdresser. It's gonna make a backup of etc skel, put it in your home directory so it's easy accessible. And this is the before haircut, right? I still have long hair at this point in time. I'll do my update. All things will change, but I want to know what changes in etc skel. That's it, right? So one folder in all the vast, wow, right? Thousands of folders we do not track. Just this one, because this one is what we do, ArcoLinux. So when we update our system, we do this in here. It does say, Pamac, I'm red, meaning signing, hey, you should update your system, right? Now, it's always a choice. There's nobody telling you you have to update every week, every hour, every 2 weeks, every month. It's entirely up to you. All factors play there, bandwidth and speed and everything, money, it all plays a factor. It's a factor to consider. So anyway, updating, I would prefer this, that people do this in a terminal. So you see already, oh, it's just a small bunch of stuff from ArcoLinux and all the rest is Arch. And the files, you get to learn the files. There's a new Linux kernel, Linux headers, Linux ATM firmware, stuff that matters is updated. I need to reboot. A systemd libs, I need to reboot. That's the flag that should go up, and we do say it in a line somewhere, says, okay, it's time for you to reboot. So when we say yes, all the packages come in, everything is changed, and some of it, not many things, right? But the ArcoLinux stuff and some of the ArcoLinux stuff, not all, changes things in the etc_scal. Now, etc_scal is not used ever on a working system. It is only used when you install something, right? In Calamares, that's the installation application. Then etc_scal is copy pasted to the new user, Eric, and then alone. So if you are rolling, staying rolling, then that's great, because that's the point, right? You don't need to reinstall every single time. Yes, if you break things, you do that, and then you learn, and voila, next time you don't make the same mistakes twice. But it is still a choice of the user to decide, do I want the content from etc_scal, yes or no? And we don't like to copy paste all the time, so we have a little alias for it, scal, right? It's gonna copy paste everything from the etc_scal to my own thing, config local bash_rc zshrc. Is going to be overwritten. If you don't like that, that's going to be overwritten, then there are solutions. Here's the line, right? Important Linux packages have changed. Reboot is recommended. So we give you a signal, but it's well, you need to remember Linux systemd things. Reboot. Now, the haircut story, right? You went to the hairdresser, you went in. This is an image at before the update, and this is gonna be the image after the update. What do? You melt a super interesting application. You compare two folders, two files, and you see what's different, not what's the same. I wouldn't care, don't care what's the same. I wanna know what's different, right? So we see here some differences here, and we see, okay, what's changed here? We've changed Trizen is no longer there. We've changed it to Paru. Okay, cool, check. That's a good idea. And you keep on checking. Stay rolling. There is a new stay rolling script. Yeah, that's my smartphone that thinks I'm talking to it. And Conky session file is new. I saw that there was a home Eric. Now there will be a few Erics out there, but it should be a tilt, right? So change that as well. Electron, there are new versions out there, and we don't want to see it in here. We don't want to see an icon saying Electron and then nothing, right? Nothing will happen. Nice application that does nothing. So we hide it till version 16. Everything is already in the clear, and we're safe. We won't see it, and Electron 17 will be there. We've made some changes in the bash_rc, and as well, of course, in the zshrc. They go together. So that's your configuration of your shell. I'll make a separate video, but it's certainly important to mention it here as well. We've made changes. We've created this, an ArcoLinux tweak tool that can change SDDM, that will change SDDM. Now, SDDM is a login manager, a display manager from Plasma. When Plasma saves the settings, is saving it in two files. To be consistent with 23 desktops, we follow now SDDM way of saving things. Part of it is saved here, part of it is saved here, and we'll do the switch, right? That's the thing we need to do. We need to upgrade, we need to stay rolling. SDDM.conf alone works just fine, but if you combine Plasma together with, right, and then it becomes difficult. So one way of defining how will we theme icons and so on, how will we theme SDDM is going to be in 2 files from now on, okay? So this is a folder, sddm.conf.d is a folder, and in there is the rest of the SDDM configuration. It's split in 2 parts, and that's what we had to do with the ArcoLinux tweak tool as well. All right, so remember that SDDM 2 files, go, check. Now mid-August we have been happy for 4 years with certain codes that we had in Pacman, for Pacman, and suddenly it wasn't working anymore, right? So we had to change that. We have had a new release mid holiday. We had a release, and as a result we have now a simple script that actually fixes the Pacman database and keys. So if there are issues with keys, we have 4 of them, because we don't want you to, well, it's university, right? But it's not university, so you will forget, right? So key fix, key dash fix, fix key, fix dash key, it's all gonna be good. It's all gonna be pointing to something that fixes your keys. And we were talking about it already, right? Sudo pacman -s ArcoLinux, right? That's the ArcoLinux thing, fine. And the other thing is our thing, so fix key and key fix and all that, but I'll have to reboot and to scale, right? It's not there at this point in time in my bash RC. It's not there. This is saved in etc scale. Get it? Everything is saved in etc scale. It's not in your home directory. So your bash RC, your ZSH RC doesn't have a clue of the change. And this is also something, the bike and the end, there was enough tutorials about that. Thanks for supporting us, right, financially, because it made us, the decision to move to a faster, better, bigger server is easily made, right, because of the financial support. But yeah, we had to do some manual labor, so to speak, right, and change the bike to end. So now we had ends in our pants. That was the sentence to remember. We have ends in our pants. So if you see people still struggling with that, help them. Okay, that's it. That's all we've changed to the bash RC. Something similar, of course, changed to the ZSH RC. This is something different. When you open ZSH, two ZSH screens, terminals, right? And you are running some terminals to the left, okay? And you're running some commands, sorry, to the right. We want them to keep separate commands. When I do arrow up, I want to see the previous command of that particular terminal, not the command of the other terminal. I want to keep commands separate, and that's what this does. Share commands between terminals, instances or not? No, not. Unset opt. And then all the rest is the same. We've saw that there was still a typo here, so that's just common, so it doesn't matter really. But Paru is the one taking care of everything now. And here we have the check. If there is a .config missing, we'll make one. Otherwise, the scal thing here will produce an error, and that's not what you want to see. So a quick check: is the config there? Yes. Okay. If not, make it. And we have an extra SDDM case. So remember, nano, the N is stands for nano. Nano is an editor. Nano SDDM. So NSDM, SDDM K stands for KDE settings. So now if you want to edit it manually, you need to type in two things. Well, you'll soon learn what is where, and then you know it's gonna be this one I need, or it's gonna be that one I need, or you go to the ArcoLinux tweak tool, right? That's the point. But basically anything from the ArcoLinux tweak tool can be done in a terminal. It's files, it's editing, anything can be typed by you. So the fixed key was in here, I saw, and so we've changed it to fixed key server, otherwise it would be void, right? We need the fixed keys just for this particular thing, fixing the Pacman databases and keys. Key fix, key dash fix, fix key, fix dash key. That's it. And there is a fix SDDM.conf as well. We had, so this is the line 309 is the line where you say, let's follow, let's keep rolling, and use two files, the one in the folder and the one in etc.sddm.conf. That's what happens there. This was a user getting in trouble because the pacman.conf was all, well, let's say wasted, was broken, and that's the simple way. Fix pacman.conf means boom, gets everything from the internet and going to overwrite the your pacman.conf, so it's working again. And the key servers, we have had beginning of July, there seems to be problems with key servers, authentication and whatever, certificates and all that. So we do, it's always about signing again, right? There we are again, keys and signing. This might help. We're not sure if it's helping globally, right? Over the world. But we did get some nice results if we put everything to the Ubuntu. Yeah, the Ubuntu key server. So the key servers are not part of ArcoLinux. It's just general servers on the internet for signing things, right? Can be anything. So okay, let's see if that helps people. There are lots of key servers in there, and you hashtag it out, and then hopefully everything works. Signing of keys, there we go again. Bike becomes ends. So I've got ends in my pants. And this was not in yet in the ZSH, so we use it to check quickly, is there anything failed as a system CTL service? And no, if it's not, all good. So that's your change. So you can always keep track of changes like this. And that's why we're here, to teach. And the only way is to, from time to time, right? You don't have to do it all the time, but from time to time, maybe it's interesting to do a meld and see. Now, at this point, nothing has changed. Well, everything has changed, and I need to reboot for sure, but as such, everything is in the etc scale, and the etc scale is never ever used in a rolling system. So there are two options. Either you say, I'm gonna go and grab the things that have changed. You just know now what has changed. This has changed, bash RC has changed. Those are the most important guys, right? Or you say, I'm gonna do it manually. This is what we used to do in the past, right? Like this, and overwrite everything. But we got tired of this, and we said, isn't there an easier way, some command we can do? And then you make us aliases, and we do love our aliases, and that's Scale. Does exactly the same thing, what I've just done now manually, and everything is overwritten. But you see, the Scale is taking into account that you have settings, and these settings are here, and you can compare again and put everything back and say, oh my god, everything is overwritten. Well, it's just a deconfuser, which is not important at this point in time. But if you would have another wallpaper and icons and settings and all kinds of things, right? Yeah, it will be changed. But for example, you don't see any folder about Terminator, for example, right? Terminator is an other terminal. It will never be overwritten because it's not part of ArcoLinux. But things that we have, yeah, they get overwritten. The settings of the wallpaper is here. The keyboard shortcuts are here. So these things will be overwritten. But then there is something as the personal folder, maybe. Why not use the personal folder? It's explained in arcolinuxb.com. And what's that, right? So there are ways to counteract, to put everything back, or just keep everything in etc scal and never type scal, never copy paste. Is all good for us. But of course I want to show you the fix key, right? And the fix key is part of the bash RC, part of the ZSH RC. So we need to load it up. So I've done my scal, I've done my updates. There's maybe one thing more to tell. That's the up all, but we won't see anything because up all is gonna update everything, which has already been updated, is the ArcoLinux, but also the AOR. I have not installed anything from AOR, so nothing to do. Looking for AOR upgrades, nothing to do. Time to reboot and show you some new aliases. We have a new kernel, not that that will matter much. I mean, you just see new fetch, there's new kernel. It depends what hardware you have, right? I have not run into any issues in 4 years time with Linux kernel on my machines. But sometimes we do suggest to people, hey, if something is not working anymore, there are two ways to do things. Sudo pacman -s linux LTS is what we often suggest because that's the long-term support. That's for older machines that have hardware that is not in the Linux kernel but is recognized in the LTS version, and voila. So you just switch like this, no GUI necessary, it's just typing this, enter, reboot, done. You're on Linux LTS. Another option is downgrade. Now, you know maybe the application downgrade, and we've talked to the guys of the application downgrade, and we've made something similar. So downgrade is great for example, Linux kernels. Something went wrong. This Linux kernel is not good for my machine. Okay, cool. Then you take number 200, 100, 150, 66. I mean, just choose and test if that kernel worked. Because often you update and then you know last kernel worked. So you go back to last kernel. Simple as that. Select the package by number. You select it. You tell pacman yes. Put it to, how is it called again? To avoid everything to be updated, you tell them to ignore package. That's line 25. You'll add it there and say ignore package Linux LTS or Linux, and it will never ever update your kernel. That's great. You can stick around and everything works. Last thing, downgrade is our thing. Downgrade, downgrade. We have also packages. So this is a sudo, I believe, right? If I'm not, yeah, I'm correct. This is a sudo, and the other one downgrade. So there's just one letter of difference, and the E and the A stands for ArcoLinux. And you can do, for example, a downgrade of Dropbox, because we are building packages of Dropbox, and at some point in time we build a package. It comes from the package builder, not from us. I mean, let me rephrase it so it's clear. The AOR are recipes, package builds. If the maintainer creates something that's wrong, that the recipe is wrong, we will build a wrong package. Simple as that. We're cooking, we're following a recipe, and we have a result. So if at some point in time something goes wrong, we just say, okay, going back to number 23, 22, 21 until it works again. So lots and lots, we have 500, 600 packages or so are already on this, our own actually, our own personal seed host downgrade system, which is just downgrade with an A. That's it. That's important. Okay, new stuff. So if we go to Control T, we have the aliases. Fix something, right? It was something to fix. So tab. Lots of things to fix, and there's the fix key here with the dash and without dash. And there's more to fix. Let's focus now on two things. fix SDDM config and fix key. So the fix key goes together hand in hand with ArcoLinux keyring. Always good to repeat. Voila, that's the ArcoLinux key thing. Now our key thing. Our key thing is fix key, key fix, etc. Right? Fix key. We'll do this. Restoring, you can have a look at the code at the bash or see what's in there, the script, right? It's gonna remove things, analyze things, add things. Voila, you're up to date. We've already helped lots of people with this. Fix key, remember, and share, help each other. So that's that. The other thing is the switch in SDDM. So let's have a look. What's gonna happen to my machine? Here is an sddm.conf. It's an empty one. There's nothing there, okay? Nothing there. The other one, where's the other one? The other one is sddm.conf. That's this one. That is quite, well, it's not empty, right? So, voila, there we are. We want to stay rolling. This is the video about how to stay rolling. That means that we have, I cannot do two things, and probably it's better to go for this option, Super Shift Enter. What we always do, we've done an etc-scal, remember, right? We've copy pasted from etc-scal to here. If you do that, then you have a bin, you have a stay rolling, and you have all the years we've been active already, and 2021, and this is the one from mid-August, again to September release, right? I know it's a bit confusing in numbering, that's how it went, right? Stay rolling version 1. Maybe it's better I explain you this rather than typing, which is also gonna work, fix SDDM config, because you just saw it. There are a few fixed things. Fix SDDM config is, we run it with this. You want to stay rolling, you go in here, bin, stay rolling, the year and the month, and then open a terminal, and then you run it. Now there are some decisions that we've made, and one of them is we want to get rid of SDDM config editor git. That's our decision to get rid of this. Why? This thing doesn't work. Name of session file for auto login is broken. This is not correct. It can't have the path. I've mentioned it 4 months ago on the GitHub. Haven't seen a change. Basically, we don't want it anymore. And what's the replacement? This one. Oh, I just wanted to quit it and it's not quit. So let me just kill you. Here it is. SDDM, we've got our own stuff now, right? We have our own configuration, and you'll see it if not on Plasma. 23 desktops. On Plasma, we tell you, hey, go to the Plasma settings, right? Everything is nicely labeled and structured, go there. But the 22 others don't have it. So there we can say, I like to start with awesome instead of XFCE, or I want to change the theme, or I want to install more themes and get them running, but they will be here if of course you refresh the list of the SDDM themes, and then you select one of the others. Often I select this guy here, ArcoLinux Materia, the blue one, and then you apply the settings. But these settings, we've already changed something, right? They will change your sddm.conf. We want to move away from one sddm.conf. As you see, ArcoLinux Tweak Tool has been programmed as such that if you have one, everything is saved. It's working. But we need to move to 2 files, since Plasma, well, SDDM is part of Plasma. And if you are on Plasma and you save SDDM settings, it's gonna write here, etc sddm.conf d kde settings. So we need to follow SDDM basically for the 22 others. So let me run this again because I tried to interrupt it and it kept going a little bit there. So SDDM config editor git is installed, will be removed. Okay, I agree. Boom, it's gone, right? You can always get it back with sudo pacman -s if you say, oh my god, right? And then comes again, well, basically the fix SDDM conf is behind the normal script here. Now we run user local bin ArcoLinux fix SDDM config to align you with the new way SDDM is saving its settings. You only need to run this once. Okay, fine. Getting latest etc SDDM conf. You have internet connectivity, so meaning I can get it from the internet. It says I don't find KDE settings conf. There is nothing in here. That's correct. Do you want something in there? Do you want to follow? Do you want to keep rolling? Do you want to follow our structure? I would say yes, because our ArcoLinux tweak tool is built for the future, right? We support the past, but we will at some point in time get rid of the code for the past. It will become 2 files, and that's going to be the new normal, right? The new normal. So do you want to follow the change? Then answer yes. So answer yes, and there you go. You get the original stuff from our ISOs in, right? So everything is changed. Eric is no longer here. No, Eric is here. Ah, but Eric is gone. Session is gone, user is gone. I mean, we're back to square one. We're back to the standard settings of ArcoLinux installation. And you need to tell him, I want to auto login again. Here, in this particular case, you see the hashtag. Let's make this bigger. Yeah, you see everything is back, but that's a small thing, right? That's just saying, okay, fine, okay. I'll go to Ctrl-Alt-E to the tweak tool. If you don't like to edit these things, which is super easy, I'll show you, or actually ATT will show you, right? Session, delete the hashtag, type in XFCE, awesome, Plasma, user, delete the hashtag, type in Eric. So auto login, yes. XFCE, oh sure. Apply settings, what's happening? Voila, the same. But maybe you wouldn't know that it's XFCE, not XFCE4, for example. Then things can go wrong. All right, as you see, auto login is here, theme is here, and what happens? Well, the cursor theme is here. We follow SDDM, we follow KDE, we follow Plasma. Safest thing to do. Voila, so now we have 2 files. To remember, SDDM is governed, is ruled by 2 files, and you can open them easily. You don't like SDDM, the ArcoLinux tweak tool way of doing things. Sure, no problem. It's sometimes faster. You just do Ctrl-Alt-T and then N SDDM and go and have a look and depart that cursor and go in here and change things. Up, done. And N SDDMK is here as well. Sorry, but I don't want to auto login anymore. Done. Ctrl-X, yes. Which is faster? I don't know. I can type really fast, and I'm sometimes faster, if not always, than the ATT because it needs to load up. But anyway, that's all preference, and that's freedom, that's choices, and you do the choices you like. All right. Did I forget anything? Did I forget anything? Well, I think I said everything, but there's maybe a tip I can tell you, and always, well, biggest tip I can tell the newcomers is type alias. We are so fond of our aliases. We have so many, and if you see some other distros, you say, oh my god, they have just the 2, the general 3, 4, 5. And it's so much fun to have these easily fixable things, or launching things, ATT here, or go through them, see what it does, try to read what it does. And one of those things, we've just did a scal, right? Sometimes we just change an alias. And we have this small thing called copy bash. It's gonna get etc scal.bash rc and put it in ours and load it up again. So That's just the file, the one file, that's it. Copy bash, and all the rest stays in etc scal if you don't want to mess things up, but want to have the aliases cp, right? And something similar is for ZSH. So if you're on ZSH, which is super easy, do ZSH, we are on ZSH now, and then you log out. And what's that? Well, it's a different shell, and it's also fun because it has themes and it has so many functionality that I still have to learn. And this is now a random theme. Every single thing is now random. Every terminal will be nice and different, and it will tell you the theme up there. Maybe it's a good idea, guys, to put aside a little paper or a file. For instance, dark blood, I would like to keep that nearby. I like this look, because you can tell ZSHRC to use this and that and that and that and that theme, like 10 themes, 20 themes, 30, 100, it doesn't care, but only then rotate, make it random only in the ones you like. That's maybe more interesting than random in everything, you know? Copy Z, so copy ZSH, CZ, copy bash, copy ZSH, CZ, and there you go. Everything that's inside the etc scal is now copy pasted over to ours. We are on ZSH. And you know where the drill is, where the file is. It's gonna be, oops, it's gonna be here. ZSH. Change anything you like. Right? Theme is now random. You can have random candidates, that's what I was saying, right? Dark blood, I can add dark blood to it. Now it will be Robert Russell, which I don't like personally. Jonathan. I don't know if that's correct. Jonathan. We'll see. So it's so fun to work with all these themes. I think it was exec ZSH they told us on their website, if I remember correctly, to execute it again. And then Control T. I'm not sure. I think it's wrong. Jonathan is gonna be the wrong thing here. That's why everything stays the same, because it needs to rotate into these three things. Yeah, I know already what went wrong. I deleted too much. This needs to be active, of course. Tell them to be random, and then it's gonna go through this one or that one, this one. Don't like agnoster at all. So it's either Jonathan or Darkblood that can be random. Needs to be active, that line. And then you'll see that you have the possibility to Control T. That's Jonathan. That's Jonathan still. Jonathan, Darkblood, Jonathan, Darkblood. And you rotate between these guys. And super Q. Another tip for the guys that are new. There are so many keyboard shortcuts. So have a look at the long list of keyboard shortcuts that we use, and you'll get the hang of it. Certainly you'll need it if you want to explore tiling window managers. They're all keyboard driven. That's it for me. This nice new wallpaper is also there for you guys. I think I've said everything to stay rolling. I'll make a separate video for the SDDM configuration. It's rather important that everybody knows that there are two files. So if you see people struggling with tweak tools, maybe ArcoLinux tweak tool not being able to start up, that's because they never updated or never got the video that you need to have two SDDM configuration files today. All right, I think I told everything. So best of luck, best of fun, a lot of learning, and if you can, guys, remember, it's university, everything costs money, so support. Cheers.